Come make me tell you about the things them way I want, sir. Back in the days when the dancer used to warm, sir. When Clinton Lindsay used to bust them, make them go on, sir. Whole heap of artists Clinton bring come up America. Some never know say Clinton Lindsay.
Hi, welcome to Now You Know with Clinton Lindsay. This is where I tell my stories. We are now living in an age where there's a lot of misinformation and people make claims that are not actually true. And once it involves me, I'm here to tell the stories. How it was, factual and to the point. Today, I will be talking about Early B and Super Cat. I first met Early B, I would say, in the fall of 1984. And we talked, and as usual, I would tell them whenever they get a hit song that I can work with, I will take them to New York and do the bookings and get them exposures. By the spring of 1985, Early B big hit came out, One Wheel Wheelie. Went to Jamaica, met with him, told him it's time for me to take him to New York and start booking him because he has this big song. I brought him to New York almost to the summer of 1985. I believe Papa San was on that tour. It was a 6 weeks tour. During the time when I was booking him, he kept saying that he wants to have a talk with me. He wanted to talk to me about something very important. And, we're busy going back and forth, traveling here, traveling there. Eventually, I got some time and I said to him, "Okay, Doc, you wanted to talk to me. What do you want to talk to me about?" He said he has an apprentice, someone he was training, and he wanted that person to get a trip to New York. And I'm like, just like that. He said, yeah, because he wanted this person to basically see another side of life. Because he, Early B, wasn't too happy with the direction his apprentice was taking. And Early B believed that if this person get a chance to see another way of life, it will influence him for him to change course of his life. I mean, basically, Early B was just telling me that he was concerned about this guy. This guy that Early B was telling me about was Super Cat. When he was talking to me, he said that, the guy does not have a hit song. He's just trying to train him as an apprentice. I said, okay, I'll think about it and I'll get back to you and let you know. Every chance Early B got, he would be asking me, did I think about it? What am I gonna bring his printer for him? What I did, I went to like Moody's, or asked Earl Moody's Records in the Bronx. In those days, there's no artist that's not on a cassette that Moody's didn't have. And when I gave the name to Moody's, he said no, he has never heard of Super Cat, and he can't even, there's no cassette, because that's the way they used to break artists back in those days. You have a hit sound, you have a cassette, a dance, a cassette will be made, and Moody's somehow would get his hands on these cassettes. So once Moody told me that, now I was trying to avoid the discussion and further discussion with Early B. I remember now we went to Washington. The other artists, when we were coming from Washington, we were on the New Jersey Turnpike. All the other artists were in the back, sleeping in the back of the bus. It was a 16-seater bus. I'm usually up front talking to the driver just to keep him alert. Don't want him to fall asleep, because you're talking all day travel, coming home 5 o'clock in the morning. I would be up there talking to him to keep him awake. In the back now I heard, someone say, boss, we can't talk to you. And I'm like, oh, Early B, yeah man, Doc, yeah, you could come talk to me, you could come. And then he came up, he came from the back, and he was just stooping over between the passenger seat on the driver's seat, and he asked me if I thought about it, about bringing in Supercat. And I say, yeah, but I asked Moody's and nobody, I've never heard of him. Early B said to me that, yeah, he doesn't have a name yet because he hasn't have a hit song. Early B is still training him. I'm going to say, yeah, Doc, but, it don't cost me just the same because I have to get him a visa, I have to get him airline ticket, find a place to put him and all of that. So even though he doesn't have a name, Early B said, all right, boss, here's the deal I'll make with you. Don't pay me no more. Don't pay me no more money. At that time, Early B was getting $500 to $1,500 because, depending on where I could book him. When I book him in New York or in the tri-state area, he would get more money. But if I send him to Texas or, smaller markets, $500-$600. So he said that, I shouldn't pay him no more. He will forfeit his salary to cover the expenses of bringing Supercat. And I'm like, yo, you really would forfeit your salary? This guy means so much to you? Early B said, boss, you wouldn't know how much he means to me. Yeah, I'm willing to give up my salary. I said, damn, man, you're serious? He said, yes, he's serious. I said, man. I said, all right, Doc. You know what? Let me really, really think about it. And, I'll let you know. I think within 2 days or 3 days, I said to him, you know what? I'll do it. But keep your salary because you can't come here for 6 weeks and, work and you don't get paid. I'll do it. And we'll work out something later down, Because this was his first trip. How am I going to allow him to work and no money? So I said, we'll work something out in the future, but I'll do it. The same year, I did the paperwork, and after the tour, Early B went back to Jamaica, got the information, sent it up to me. I did the paperwork, and Supercat came in. Early B had also come back, because, he still have other songs, Sunday Dish, and all these other songs he was still hot, and I was still booking him. This time now he came up with Supercat. The problem was I couldn't book Supercat because he has no name, no nothing. I remember a sound man, I'm not gonna say who, but one of the New York sound man. I would send Cat out with Early B. Wherever I would try to send Cat, and I would tell the promoter, you don't have to pay him, just let him come. And because at that time Cat was still learning to ride the rhythm and learn the art. Some of the promoters will say okay, some say no because them still have to give him room and he's not contributing to the dance and la 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 la. There's one New York sound man that said to me straight up, him don't want that coolie boy upon the set. Him can't ride with him and him just wasting his time. So even if he's getting him for free, you see what the man tell me Say that no, him don't want him. Say, but pay him, he just doesn't come in at the dance and work. Him say, nah, don't want him. Maybe Cat hearing this for the first time, but there are a lot of disrespect shown to him that I've never exposed him to. I would never tell him that, hey. I remember there was a dance in Washington and Early B, either Washington or Baltimore, but somewhere up that side. It was Washington. There was this big spender by the name of Snow. And I sent Early B and Supercat into Washington. I don't know what happened. Some disrespect was shown to Cat. And when Cat came back from Washington, he was upset. He was very upset. He said to me, him know him see how the place run. Him don't want me to bring him back to America until him have a hit song. Because the disrespect and he saying to me that when him come back, he might come back with a hit song. All them boys that I Washington, he want me to just charge them some big money. And what I used to do when I send him out with Early B or, and him don't get no money, I will give him 100 or 150 or 200 just for him to have something. Because regardless of what, I wanted him to go back with something. Even though we weren't making any money on him, But still, I just didn't want him to come here and don't have no money. So sometimes I'll take out of my money or my fee and just give him 100 or 200, and he will pick up a few things. He would pick up this, pick up a little thing, you know. One thing I noticed that he had bought was this big reel-to-reel. I think they call it 16 track, and that when his intention was to record and whatever. Eventually, the tour was over. I promised him that I won't bring him back until him have a hit tune, because that's what he wanted. I think Early B accomplished his goal of showing Cat what foreign is like and what can happen and the potential that Super Cat, had. You know, after the tour was over, they went back to Jamaica. I would say about 6 to 8 months. Now we're into 1986. I got a call from Super Cat from Jamaica. He wanted me to call Winston Riley, the producer, because he did some song for Winston Riley, but he don't really like one of them, and the only one he wanted Winston Riley to release was a song called Cry for the Youths. So he wants me to call Winston Riley and have Winston Riley erase all the songs them are a couple songs from the tape and just really Cry for the Youths. I call Winston, say, hey Winston, Clinton Lindsay. I say, yo Clinton, where you say? I say, Super Cat did some tune for you. He say, yeah man. And he say, yo, I have one I know going to be one of my biggest tunes in a while. And him say a song named Boops. I'm say, boy, Winston, that me I call you about, you know, because Cat want me to tell you to erase that song there, because he not really check for it. And him say, no, you're mad, that's gonna be my big. He said, right now, he said that's gonna be one of his biggest songs in a while. And he just waiting on the pressing plants to be cleared. Because the sound man them a give him vibes, and every time them play it, a be a nice make up in the dance. He just waiting. I know he said 2. I don't know at the time how many pressing plants were in Jamaica, but at the time he said he has 2. 2 of them are gonna be running. He said that's the biggest. And I said, nah man, Cat crazy. No, me not erase that. That's the big tune, Clinton. I say, alright. And he said, then why him do a tune if you not like it? I say, I asked the same question too. Why would you record a song? But whatever. The song was Boops. Eventually, Boops was released. And to compensate Super Cat, you know, the 12-inch and some of the 7-inch of the song, Winston Riley put Cry for the Youths on the flip side, on the B side, because I had told him that's the one Cat wanted to be released, Cry for the Youths. So, but Boops, and as we all know, Boops took off, big, took off. The time when Boops took off, Super Cat didn't want to have anything to do with it. So he and Nicodemus at the time flew out to Jamaica, to England. They were in England when Boops are raised hell in Jamaica. Cat was in England with Nicodemus. It got so big that there were various versions to Cat. Sugar Minor, Gregory Isaacs, Johnny Osborne, Papa San, Peter Metro. The list just goes on and on. Love in the Air had an album about Boops, government Boops, Babylon Boops. And it just went on. Barry G and I were counting as to how many versions of Boops there were. We stopped counting at 72 different versions, or 72 answers to Boops. As a matter of fact, at the end of it, Bagger Brown came out with his professional Boops. I mean, Sly and Robbie have a big tune with Shiny Boops, Here to Go in England. That's how big the tune was. Eventually, Nicodemus and Cat came back to Jamaica. I remember Ivan called me and said, listen to this. It was Barry G interviewing Super Cat. Barry G was like, Super Cat, are you telling me that you don't know of a big promotion going on in New York? That you gonna be flying out to New York? Super Cat said, no Barry, I don't know nothing about it. And Barry, to be honest with you, if there's only one man that can carry me to New York, it's Clinton Lindsay. That's what Cat was telling Barry G on the radio. I said, wow. Because the commercial was being run on WNWK. And I was a bit concerned, I was like, how could Cat do this to me after all what we've been through? He's coming for someone else. But once I heard him with Barry G and telling Barry G that he knows nothing about the show, I said, okay. And that show went off, then Cat didn't come. I eventually brought him back to New York, and I remember, it was one of the shows was at Turntable Club on Boston Road in the Bronx, and one was in Manhattan, and that's how, we got Super Cat back. Now, Early B and I became good friends. The last time I saw Early B, September 9th, it was Friday evening. I was driving down on White Plains Road near Gun Hill Road when I saw him over by there was a mechanic shop. So I stopped and I said, yo Doc, what's going on? He said he was going to Boston for the weekend and he's getting his car tuned up. And he said, as a matter of fact, why don't you and the missus come and go spend the weekend in Boston? And I said, I would love to come Early B, but if you had told me earlier, I would have made arrangement. But now I have previous assignments or whatever. And he said, all right. I said, listen, I'll try my best to make it, but I can't promise you, because no, this is Friday, you're talking tomorrow. He said, all right, try your best. I said, yeah, man, if I can, I'll drive up. It was a good idea, get out of New York City and go to Boston, go chill out. And unfortunately, it was a late-minute thing. The Sunday afternoon, I got a call from X News. I was X News New York representative at the time. I got a call. It's either from Yasmin Peru or Cecilia Campbell, one of them, that they heard that Early B got shot. But at the time when they called me that Sunday afternoon, they didn't know if he had died or whatever. But they gave me the number. I got the number from them for the police precinct up there in Boston where it happened. So I called them, and the front desk guy told me, yes, there was a shooting at a West Indian club last night, but he does not have all the full details. The detective that's working the case has left for the day, but he'll be back by 7 o'clock in the morning. So I could call back and that detective would be able to give me all the details. Alright? I called back on the 7 o'clock the Monday morning, and I spoke to him, and he confirmed that yes, there was a shooting at the West Indian club. But unfortunately, there was no witnesses. He was just getting sketchy pieces of information. But he can confirm that one person died. He confirmed that it was an entertainer, and he has a name, Neil, Orlando Neil. From what the few people that he was able to talk to say that he wasn't the target. It wasn't that he was a target of the shooting. He was talking on stage, and someone let off a bullet and it ricocheted off the wall or the ceiling and hit him. And that's the story I wrote and sent down to X News. September the 11th, 1994. Early B was 36 years old. That's the way it was. And you're getting it straight from me. Now you know with Clinton Lindsay. Thank you.
Clinton Lindsay, a promoter. Bring up the biggest set of artists from Jamaica. Like Super Cat and Mr. Early B the Doctor. Whole heap of artists, none of them me can remember. Who can remember when them used to keep Jamaica? The kind of show that used to give out no for water. To reggae artists round the world and